Welcome to the season 1 and 2 recap of Ginny and Georgia. Free-spirited Georgia Miller moves to Wellsbury, Massachusetts with her teenage daughter Ginny and 9-year-old son Austin after her husband's death. On her first day at school, Ginny clashes with her English teacher but befriends Maxine, who introduces her to her rebellious twin brother Marcus and Maxine's friend Hunter. Georgia attends a mayoral board meeting and blackmails Joe into supplying organic food to schools cheaply, earning a job at the mayor's office. Georgia starts her new job, befriends Nick, and faces issues with opening a dispensary in a historic, AC-less building. Ginny takes a contraceptive pill, gets stoned with Max's friends to fit in but still feels like an outsider and practices self-harm. Austin presents letters from his jailed dad saying he's a wizard. Georgia writes Austin's letters pretending to be his dad and uses his social security number to get a credit card. Kenny's ex-wife hires PI Gabriel Cordova to investigate Georgia. Georgia agrees to let Ginny join the sophomore sleepover and offers Ellen to chaperone when she sees the money for tickets, but struggles to find a babysitter for Austin. Paul steps up to babysit. At the sleepover, Ginny and friends dance and take photos in a booth. Ginny, Max, Abby, and Nora get matching ponytails, but the hairdresser botches Ginny's hair, sending her to the bathroom where she finds Marcus hiding. Marcus opens up about his depression after losing his best friend last year. Meanwhile, Georgia steals money from the ticket fund at the principal's office. Georgia finds Ginny in the bathroom and they fight, with Ginny accusing her mom of jealousy over Ginny's experiences. Flashbacks reveal teenage Georgia discovering her pregnancy in a gas station bathroom. She then meets a boy named Joe on a school trip who shares half his sandwich and dreams of having a farm with animals in Wellsbury. Joe gifts Georgia his Ray-Bans before leaving, while Georgia recalls wishing for a magical horse named Milkshake as a child. Georgia and Nick struggle to fund casino night after Cynthia backs out but succeed through Georgia's resourcefulness. The event earns 4 times more than the previous year, though Georgia keeps some money. Ginny becomes popular after Hunter's song goes viral, plans a group Halloween costume with her friends, and helps Max with Sophie by inviting her to their party. Ginny takes Max home, sees Marcus caring for his sister, and later apologizes. They agree to be friends. Georgia returns home to find her sister Maddie unseen for over 10 years. Ginny is shocked by Georgia's new secret. Austin stabs Zach in the hand with a pencil after being teased. Georgia checks Maddie's phone and finds she's spying for PI Cordova, Jesse. Georgia kicks her out, offering money to leave. Maddie reveals their abusive father targeted her after Georgia left. Ginny comes home, finds childhood photo and a gun in Georgia's room. Georgia returns, hears noise and enters with a gun. Mother and daughter face each other armed. Nick crashes the party with Gabriel and Georgia calls him by his real name. Gabriel receives a call revealing Georgia's late husband was in excellent health before his death. Ginny's friends raid Georgia's liquor cabinet, then sneak to Maxine's house for a party with their partners. Georgia reports them and police raid the house. Georgia tells Ginny about her abusive stepfather, how she ran away and that she's broke without her inheritance. Austin returns to school but runs off. Cynthia releases a defamatory video against Paul and Georgia, causing Paul to lose supporters. Zion, Ginny's dad and travel photographer, arrives, making Ginny fear her parents might reunite despite Georgia's commitment to Paul. Georgia catches Marcus climbing into Ginny's window, sparking a fight. Ginny and Hunter fight over her poem and their differing non-white experiences. Cordova finds Georgia has wolf's bane, which can cause heart attacks. Ginny sees her parents together, has a meltdown and burns herself. Marcus witnesses this and is humiliated by Ginny. Marcus rides his unlicensed motorbike and crashes into a ditch. Ginny feels guilty about Marcus' crash. He returns home with a concussion. Cordova suspects Georgia poisoned Kenny with wolf's bane, requesting an exhumation while Georgia texts mysterious Marty. Austin finds his letters to his dad in Georgia's closet. Georgia helps Paul regain support with a rally while continuing to embezzle. Cynthia spots her cashing stolen money. Ginny confronts Max but also asks Marcus to forgive her. They embrace but Abby wants Ginny to stop or risk breaking their friend group. Cynthia sneaks into the mayor's office, finding proof of embezzlement. Kenny's body is missing. Austin shows Ginny letters Georgia never sent, so Ginny helps forward them. Max finds Marcus's phone with Ginny's messages, learning of their secret relationship. With the election near, Cynthia accuses Georgia of embezzlement, but HR finds no missing funds. Ginny confronts Max, who knows about Ginny's secret with Marcus. A fight erupts with Abby and Hunter, ending with Marcus calling it a mistake and getting punched by Hunter. Ginny blackmails her English teacher into a recommendation, accusing him of racism. Gabriel visits Ginny, investigating Georgia and warning her, but Ginny protects her mother. Ginny and Austin burn Wolfsbane, steal Marcus's bike, and run away just as Paul wins. Georgia tells Gabriel she put Kenny's ashes in fireworks. For 2 weeks, Ginny and Austin stay with Zion in Boston. Ginny has nightmares about Georgia, who pretends she's fine without them. At Thanksgiving, Ginny's grandparents worry about her mental health, while Georgia hears Paul's family criticize her baggage, though he defends her. Ginny panics about facing Georgia, confesses her self-harm to Zion, and asks to stay with him if he tells Georgia and she gets therapy. Zion tries to tell Georgia about Ginny's self-harm after she refuses Ginny moving in. Ginny agrees to go home to stop him. Gabriel uncovers Georgia's past marriage to missing Anthony Green. Zion takes Ginny to therapy where she opens up about her childhood and self-harm. Nick accuses Georgia of embezzling, but she warns exposing it would ruin Paul's plausible deniability. Paul supports Ginny and Austin, revealing Gil stole credit cards in Austin's name, but Ginny finds out it was actually Georgia. The next morning, Ginny makes Paul a smoothie, triggering Georgia's memory of using one to kill Kenny. Tensions escalate when Georgia realizes Ginny knows about Kenny's death. Meanwhile, Austin's teacher warns he's falling behind and suggests counseling, but Georgia brushes it off. Marcus questions Ginny's distance. She avoids him at first, then shares a poem. Later, she confesses that Georgia killed Kenny and Marcus vows secrecy. Georgia justifies her actions as protecting the family, admitting she would do it again. Ultimately, mother and daughter reconcile. After reconciling, Georgia catches Marcus sneaking in and questions Ginny about their relationship. Paul confronts Georgia again about Austin's needs, while she surprises Ginny by asking her to be her maid of honor. Gabriel discovers Georgia was never investigated for Anthony Green's death. Overwhelmed, Ginny calls her therapist to avoid self-harm, then breaks down. Georgia apologizes to Nick and asks him to be her bridesmaid. She picks a murder mystery theme for her party, which Ginny finds sadistic. Ginny and her therapist discuss Georgia as a mother. Paul argues with Georgia about a gun in the house and throws it out. She claims it's the only one. At Blue Farm's open mic, Ginny reads a poem about her negative feelings towards Georgia, upsetting her when she hears it. Georgia is still upset by Ginny's poem and stressed about hosting Paul's family for Christmas Eve. Ginny and Georgia accidentally walk in on Zion dating Simone, prompting Georgia to panic and invite Zion's family to dinner. Austin finds a gun while searching for presents. Gabriel uncovers a link between Georgia's lawyer and her old gang. At dinner, Georgia feels attacked by Zion's mother's criticism of her parenting and leaves, but Joe cheers her up and she reconciles with Paul. Georgia reads Ginny's notebook, discovers her self-harm, forces her to show the scars, and they share a tearful conversation and apology. Georgia strives to be a better mother and reconciles with Zion after confronting him about not telling her of Ginny's self-harm. Marcus starts acting out, coming to school drunk, while Georgia and Ginny attend a therapy session where both feel misunderstood. Gil tells Cynthia that Georgia framed him for embezzlement to get him imprisoned. Ginny surprises Georgia with a bachelorette party. Marcus is revealed to be struggling with depression. Cynthia receives support from Georgia when Gil becomes inappropriate. Georgia intentionally causes Cynthia's husband Tom's death by smothering him, witnessed secretly by Austin. Max and Marcus later hear a gunshot. 3 days before the gunshot, Ginny struggles to adjust to her new English class, which her classmates don't take seriously. Georgia confides in Ginny about Anthony, saying his death was an accident. After Georgia kills Tom, Austin grows distant. Gil violently attacks Georgia and Austin shoots him with the gun he found. Georgia reveals Gil's history of abuse to the kids but hides it with Paul. Gabriel discovers Georgia was with Tom at his death and reports her to the police for suspected murder. Marcus promises Georgia he'll keep her murder secret. Ginny convinces Georgia to tell Paul everything so they won't have to leave town. Georgia reveals her past to Paul except the murders and says Gil is blackmailing her. Paul later meets Georgia at the office with a cop and lawyer expecting her arrest. Gil arrives, but Paul warns him he will return to prison if he continues harassing Georgia. Gabriel reveals his true identity and Georgia's crimes to Nick. During their first dance, Georgia is suddenly arrested for Tom's murder. Austin, confused and upset, says he never told anyone what he saw the night Tom died. Thank you for watching the recap. Please hit the like and subscribe to our channel as that motivates us to bring more recaps for you.